Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
Well, just shocking news to start the show. On the day before Thanksgiving in Washington, D.C., 2 National Guardsmen on patrol trying to make sure the nation's capital feels safe for tourists who maybe are taking advantage of this week off. And tomorrow, 2 families in West Virginia are going to have an empty seat at their Thanksgiving table. It's Drive Time with DeRusha. Jason here. We appreciate you. We're thankful, as always, for you listening to this show. It is a day where so many of us, I think about this, and in 3 hours, my wife and son are going to drive to downtown Minneapolis, pick me up, and we're headed off to Chicago to be with my family on Thanksgiving. And I've been joking about the fact that I have to go to them, as is often part of being in a family, right? Some family members always make the drive. That is us. And it just feels so stupid knowing that these 2 men aren't going to, they're never going to see their family again. What is happening in this country? Why is there so much anger, so much violence? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense, does it? What possesses someone on a sunny Wednesday afternoon in Washington, D.C., to just go shoot a National Guards member in the head? That is one of the reports from the Associated Press, that one was shot in the head. Happened at the corner of 17th and 8th Streets, just about 2 blocks to the northwest of the White House, and you're watching these images unfold on cable news. And it's the governor of West Virginia, Patrick Morrisey, who says, with great sorrow, we can confirm that both members of the West Virginia National Guard who were shot have passed away. They lost their lives in the service of this country. So many thoughts for me, because on the one hand, you have this scourge of violence, this anger, this sort of political rancor, these weirdos and losers who have spent the last 5 years in their basement with no friends, nothing but radical, angry, lonely internet chat groups, Discord servers. There's such a web of anger out there. And it's hard to have hope. It's hard to have hope that we can figure out a way to pull people out of this darkness. And I refuse to accept it, to just accept that this is going to be the way of life. This is what we can expect a couple times a month. Some citizen soldier today, maybe tomorrow it's going to be a police officer. Maybe it'll be a teacher. Maybe it'll be a lawmaker. I mean, you look at this year in our state, in Minnesota, we have seen the outpouring of angry losers. And I say that not because, you're a loser because you murdered someone. Mm-hmm. But I really do believe that we have a major problem, especially with men in America who have grown increasingly isolated, increasingly lonely. We have so many ways to con ourselves into thinking that we aren't alone. So we go deep and deep on whatever topic that draws us in. We get stranger. We get more isolated. We get more radical. And ultimately, I think the rest of us have a little bit of a responsibility to try to see if we can jolt these people out of this. Because no amount of gun control, no amount of mental health services, all the usual things that we always talk about. I just don't know that that is the difference maker. Maybe you have some ideas at 651-461-9226. Now, the other part of the frustration for me is the fact that there really is no reason for the West Virginia National Guard to be deployed in Washington, D.C. The West Virginia National Guard is deployed because President Donald Trump said he was going to clean up Washington, D.C., deal with the safety in Washington, D.C. In August, the local police force there was federalized, and 8 different states sent National Guard troops into Washington, D.C. And it's hard not to think, now, maybe whatever caused this suspect to go do this, this person would have done it with somebody else. I don't know. Soldiers have been out there patrolling neighborhoods, train stations, other locations. They've also been on the National Mall. They've been guarding sport events. It's been all sorts of stuff. To me, it's had nothing to do with regular crime in Washington, D.C., which was the stated reason for why we're calling the National Guard up. And so when you have the governor of West Virginia saying these brave West Virginians lost their lives in service of their country, it's 100% true. But it does make me, in this immediate kind of aftermath, think like, did they need to be there? Just kind of processing this stuff. We don't know almost everything. We don't know at this point. We don't know what this suspect was motivated by. We don't know who the suspect was. This investigation is going on. Authorities are saying they got the guy. This suspect was also shot. We don't know if this was from the National Guardsmen who were being shot at. Did they shoot back? Were there other people on the scene? I don't know. But all of this just happening within the last couple of hours. But it's just heartbreaking. It's just awful. Texters saying, so sad, it's horrible. Horrible that this happened. Another texter, Jason, I'm so pissed. Our National Guard should not be put in this position of restoring order in any state. It's a bunch of BS. I tend to agree with that. For me, and the president has said that the, quote, animal who shot the guardsman will pay a very steep price. And I sure as hell hope so, right? I think we all hope for that to be the case. But I don't know. CBS is covering. It is. Oh, is this another update now from the governor? So the governor is now saying we're receiving conflicting reports. This
so that he retracted the statement that they were
just
they were killed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's not a lot to know exactly about what's going on.
Man, I would just say if you're a governor and you don't have full confirmation that
That's not good.
your people have been killed or not, my goodness.
Yeah.
Let's hope that the conflicting information, that there's some truth to it, right?
Yeah.
That's all you can do. Governor, just within the last couple minutes, saying we're receiving conflicting reports. We'll provide additional information when we know more. So, youch.
Yeah, Fox is saying they changed it back to shot. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, everyone
Yeah,
was
like-
citing, as we
yeah.
were, the citing the governor.
Mm.
But CBS will keep watching this. We'll keep. Frankly, the main facts of this remain: shot, critically injured. Certainly for their family, it matters, right? And for all of us. But my concerns about our society and where we are today stand. We'll keep monitoring. CBS will have updates. We'll break in if we learn anything else as well. It is 3:18. Drive time with DeRusha. Lots of people responding. If you guys want to keep responding, go for it. 651-461-9226. Maybe this is the question right now when you have National Guardsmen and women from 8 different states in Washington, D.C. We've heard calls for the National Guard to go to other states, other cities, going to Chicago, going to New Orleans. San Francisco talked the president out of sending troops into the Bay Area. What would you do right now? Do you think National Guards members should be called to hotspots to deal with not natural disasters, not an invasion, but to deal with crime? 651-461-9226. Drive time, back in a minute.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's chicken pot pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
The holidays will be here soon.
And whether you've been coming to Phelan Meats and Piers for generations,
Or looking to start a new family tradition,
you'll want to put us on your holiday wish list.
we're the #1 meat market in Minnesota.
We add those melt-in-your-mouth moments to your holiday celebration.
High-quality meats that keep our customers coming back for more.
That's why we've become a holiday tradition for so many folks.
No meal's complete without Phelan Meats
Of Piers.
In construction, things don't always go according to plan. Delays, disputes, unpaid invoices, they can cost you big. That's where Helmuth & Johnson comes in. Our construction law team focuses on contracts, litigation, lien claims, and more. Whether you're a contractor, developer, or supplier, we've got your back. Protect your project, protect your business. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side. Visit hjlawfirm.com. That's hjlawfirm.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
Where curiosity hits the gas. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
We are expecting an FBI update to bring you up to date on what happened in Washington, D.C. over the last couple of hours. Word that 2 National Guardsmen, both from West Virginia, have been shot while on duty on patrol in Washington, D.C., about 2 blocks from the White House. The suspect, who is also shot, is in custody. There were reports from the governor of West Virginia that the 2 guardsmen had both been killed. And then within the last 10 minutes or so, the governor walked that back and said reports on that were conflicting. And so all we can do is pray for those guardsmen to be okay. CBS will have an update for this for us in about 8 minutes. And we're going to take that, Josh, if that's all right, that CBS update, just so we can get the latest, because it's sort of a fast-moving story. And here, I think, when we're all thinking about coming together with family this weekend, knowing that 2 guardsmen were shot in D.C., I think is worth spending a little bit of time on. Dave is on the line with some reaction and thoughts about what we've said at the start of the show. Dave, thanks for listening and calling in. You're on CCO.
Hey, Jason, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I do applaud the president for the decision to send in National Guard troops. I do think they are needed in lots of places and cities. Unfortunately, he's missing a big step, and that is there needs to be a partnership. There needs to be collaboration with local officials, local law enforcement, and unfortunately, this president doesn't think that way, and he's not a collaborator. And if he was, I think there'd be a lot more success, and local law enforcement would welcome that partnership and have a plan to work together to try to reduce some of this crime on a long-term basis. But just to send people into these cities, I mean, look what's happened with the protests and the pushback, and it just is not any long-term solution. So
yeah, and I think your point, Dave, is interesting in that I think if you had a city like Chicago, for example, that has had such a challenge with gun violence in certain parts and gang warfare in certain parts of the town, if you had a president saying, look, we're not going to impose our will, but we want to help. We want to be a part of the solution. We want to deploy the FBI. We want to deploy whatever resources we have to make people feel safe. And let's do this together. Well, if the mayors at that point were like, we don't want it, well, I think it would be a harder sell, right, to say we don't want it if it were presented in a more collaborative, positive way.
100%. I agree. Well stated.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for listening. I do think it would be fair in that point to rip the mayors if they were saying like, hey, we don't want the cooperation. I think most of us, and you can have arguments about how significant of a problem crime is, but I do think like the ability in our communities to feel safe, especially in our cities right now, is a major issue. It just is. And we are making positive progress, but if we could do something to make more positive progress, why wouldn't you want that? That said, just sending troops into Washington, D.C. to go walk around the National Mall, I don't think that is where the crime is necessarily.
Yeah.
We were in L.A. and there was law, and New York, the last time we've been in both of those cities, there was law enforcement everywhere on the subway, the light rail, whatever. And it made me feel good. It just did. I know some people don't want that, but I think most of us do. Jennifer from Stillwater, you're on CCO. Jennifer, go ahead.
Hi, Jason. Thanks for taking my call again.
Sure.
I was just talking to you about this yesterday. And, I see a Lyme doctor, Dr. Jemsek, in Washington, D.C., 2 blocks from the White House. And that's where you said this just happened. So if the National Guard, who was deployed to Iraq for a decade, is being targeted by people in Washington, D.C., how ballsy is that, right?
Yeah.
These people are clearly not afraid to shoot at the National Guard.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, and so what chance do you have when you go to Washington, D.C. as a normal man, woman, or child walking down the sidewalk? And, the one guy that works for DOJ, Edward Corristine.
Yeah.
He was attacked in August. And
Right.
he was beaten bloody. You can see his
Right.
pictures all over him. He was walking his date back to the car, and they were assaulted by 4 men, and he was brutally beaten. He managed to shove her in the car and lock the doors to save her. And the only reason he probably wasn't beaten to death is because a Metro police officer came along and saved him. So, I mean, people can't go about their business and I mean, putting the National Guard in this position, I mean, come on, they're the National Guard. If they're not safe, if people are willing to attack them, and apparently in the middle of the day today, this happened.
Yeah, I just wonder the wisdom in, when you signed up for the National Guard, you signed up to defend the country. And I don't know that you signed up to become a local law enforcement officer. To me, it's a different scenario. Either way, like, I do think, I mean, certainly this kind of to target, I mean, it's pretty clear it was targeting. We don't know much else, but to shoot 2 National Guardsmen point blank during the day in Washington, D.C. on a Wednesday afternoon is, I mean, you said it. You said ballsy, I think. That's exactly right. I mean, it's outrageous, upsetting, and you do wonder what the full intent or what the full plan was for this person. Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, Jennifer. Appreciate it. Lots of text coming in. Texters say the first day it was announced that the Guard would be deployed to U.S. cities, I worried that sooner or later a soldier would be shot or a soldier would shoot a private citizen. Instead, the federal government should have funded expansion of local police. Another texter, if local law enforcement is stretched, then partnering with other jurisdictions and departments should be explored before the National Guard is called in. Another, say, when soldiers get assassinated, the punishment should be public execution. Same with school shooters. We need to get far more serious in the response as a deterrent. Another texter, we don't need National Guard. Crime isn't a problem. It's conservatives we need to worry about. Reducing the police force even further is the solution. And take away guns, says that texter. I do think voters in Minneapolis rejected the opportunity to do that. I think the public appetite for that is very low. Another texter is upset that I'm trying to connect Trump putting National Guards in cities and someone shooting them as being Trump's fault. Well, it's no one but the shooter's fault. But, yeah, you have a little responsibility when you call the National Guard to come patrol Washington, D.C., and then one of those National Guards men or two National Guardsmen get shot.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying that it's your fault. It's not. It's the shooter's fault. But I am saying it's fair to say, like, was this whole thing worth it? Was this a good idea? Let's get the latest. CBS News is tracking this from New York.
Special report. 2 National Guardsmen have been shot in Washington, D.C. CBS's Anna Schechter is following developments.
Just a couple of blocks from the White House. So the fact that this was so many shots fired, you can imagine.
We could just go right to break after this.
National Guardsmen, they were medevaced, and the suspect is also wounded severely. He apparently, according to my sources, was shot 4 times.
West Virginia's governor had said the Guard members died. He now says it's unclear. Security contributor Sam Vinograd.
We know that ATF is on the scene to try to trace the gun that was used to attack, or the guns, we just don't know how many weapons were used to attack service members. But in terms of the investigation of the suspect or suspects and motive, it is entirely possible that the feds and the FBI lead this investigation.
CBS News Special Report. I'm Cammie McCormick.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO. It's like wearing socks with sandals. Yeah, everybody laughs until their feet get cold. It's like having a paper map in the glove box, just in case. It's like the Mr. Coffee Maker you bought way back in 1984 that still brews a better pot than any app-controlled Wi-Fi smart latte machine. Now, we're not trying to be cool. We're trying to actually be useful, to be of service, to be your go-to for information and conversation every day, which honestly is pretty cool. News Talk 830 WCCO, the kind of cool you can count on.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-473-9933. 800-473-9933. 800-473-9933.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-224-5353. That's 800-224-5353. Again, that's 800-224-5353.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Well, our roads are looking way better than this morning, but I'm still looking at a couple of problem areas. We've got a crash on 65 southbound between 165th Avenue Northeast and Constance Boulevard Northeast. Also, watch for debris in the road on 169 southbound between 55 and 394. I'm Tina Marie on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Packed with flavor and packed with protein. Oh, yeah. Taste what pork can do for you. 3,000 family pig farmers reminding you to order that holiday ham. Bake that juicy tenderloin, and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
You heard the man. Bake that juicy tenderloin. Thanks to Minnesota Pork and the Minnesota Pork Board for bringing us the weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
It's going to be mostly cloudy the next couple of days. At least we'll be dry and the roads will be in good shape. Falling back to 20 tonight, still breezy. You'll notice that wind tomorrow for Thanksgiving. Mostly cloudy on Friday with a high of 28. Next best chance of snow, well, that would be on Saturday. This one targeting the southern third of the state.
Right now, it is not snowing. Looks just fine out there. It's a little cold, 27 degrees. It feels like 10 because that 15-mile-an-hour wind on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
It's good for our brains. It's good for our economies. And it's so good.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, we'll keep you up to date as we get new developments from the 2 National Guards members in Washington, D.C., who were shot earlier today, 2 blocks away from the White House. But we do want to have some of our usual fun. We'll still be doing that. And our friend Tracy Perlman joins us live here on CCO and on our video stream on YouTube at the WCCO radio channel. Hi, Tracy.
Hello. Happy almost Thanksgiving.
Are you satisfied with the snow that we got yesterday?
No, because it was icy. I'm not a fan,
You're not a fan
of winter.
Oh.
As a true Minnesotan. Give me hot, steamy, sticky 90 degrees.
Yeah. I wasn't sure where that was going.
Yep. Or steam buns. That's fine too.
Yeah. All good.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
My youngest, Sam, flew back into town yesterday from Los Angeles. And, you know, his car, well, it's not really his. We have a third car that goes to whatever kid is in town. And it's not parked in our garage. So Sam got like a real welcome back, Minnesota. We miss you, you know. He was
now scrape your car. I do have some neighbor kids that were outside this morning shoveling their own driveway. And their parents, I think they said they were getting like $5 to do their driveway. And then they were like, would you like us to do yours? And I was like, yes, I would. And I will pay you 10 US American dollars.
That's pretty good.
To send them out. And there's 3 of them. So it was cute. They did a nice job. So
I think that's very good. Like, we need to encourage young people to like have jobs. I think this is good.
Let me tell you, my neighborhood kids are hustlers. I've had 2 different kids come to my door asking if they can walk my dog.
Huh? Seriously?
Yes.
They're just trolling for work.
They're like 11, 12 years old. It's a nice little quiet development, and I'm here for it. I asked what they would be buying with their money.
Yeah.
As young entrepreneurs, Pokemon cards.
Those are still hot.
And I was like, do you?
Yeah.
So yeah, like if I'm home, I don't necessarily want a little kid who I don't know coming into my house when I'm not home. But if I'm home, like working from home or on a weekend, and they want to take Poppy for a walk,
heck yeah.
Here's your $5. Everyone's happy. It's a half hour of playtime. And
do you think these kids would be interested in a job at the Odyssey sales team here at WCCO Radio?
Perhaps.
I mean,
listen, they're awfully cute, which helps too.
Right? Who's going to say no?
They have a whole business pitch.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm not going to say, you brought your own shovels. Of course I'm going to say yes.
So I'm a total sucker for like the kid business hustle.
Mm-hmm.
I keep cash in the car for the lemonade stand scenario.
That's nice.
If you're
I'm
selling,
an aggressive Girl Scout cookie buyer. As a former Girl Scout, I cannot say no to that at all.
Yep.
But I don't know. Obviously, if you're buying a product, there's a price.
Sure.
But I panicked today and I didn't know what the appropriate price was to pay the shovelers. Like there wasn't that much.
Yeah.
No, right.
Right.
And so, but like they were happy to do it. I was like, I'll give you 10 because I'm not, like I said, I'm not your parent putting you outside to work. But even like the dog walkers, like they're happy with $5. So I'm like,
oh yeah. That feels
like a half hour. That's a great rate.
Yes. Oh yeah. Especially like the kid rate. I think it can be kid adjusted, right? Like, yeah. That is an interesting scenario though. Like today, I have this weird scenario where Alyssa and I are living full-time in an apartment, but we are not selling our house.
Right.
And this seems to trigger some people. Some people were in my my Instagram comments today. Like, there's a housing shortage. This is very insensitive for you to post about me having an apartment and a house.
People have cabins, do they not? People snowbird, do they not?
I believe they do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think I feel like it's the same, but I do get why it feels weirder. Like it is a little weirder. It's objectively weirder. Like I acknowledge that, but
here's the deal. As somebody who also lives in the burbs, I would listen. We get a bad snowstorm, and I'm asking to sleep over at the DeRusha.
Right.
That's good. I'm just going to walk across the street and I'm going to do it.
Yeah. It was this morning. I wasn't having a great time with the snowblower, right? Like it was very windy and it wasn't much snow. But this is the thing that was this is what drives me nuts. So my friend Jeff was complaining today that he was very disappointed that the snow didn't live up to the hype. And I said, what are you talking about? All yesterday, all on our show, Chris Schaefer was saying 1 to 3 inches. He's like, no, the forecast was 3 to 6. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I was here all day yesterday. It was 1 to 3.
Jeff.
Right. No, Jeff lives in Crystal.
Okay. Well, then Jeff's not that far north.
Why do you think? So I have a theory that people about 3 or 4 days out just hear like the most dramatic weather forecast that enters their feed, and then they're done. They're done, and they pay no more attention, which I get it. You're busy. But, like, if you're not paying attention, shut up on the day of the storm. Just keep your mouth closed with the, the weather people overhyped that one. No, they didn't. You are an idiot who doesn't pay attention.
Also, it's going to change, right? The closer we get to the thing, it's going to change. And so, yeah, maybe 3 days out, they thought it was going to be 3 to 6 inches. And now that it's a little closer, stuff has shifted. The timeline has shifted, which can vary the type of precipitation we get. Maybe if it was a little drier, we would have gotten more snow and it wouldn't have been icy. Yeah. I have a degree in meteorology because I've watched the news.
I can tell, yeah.
Thank you. So, I completely agree with you. Pay attention to the timing, because I do think in Minnesota, the timing is way more important than the actual participation is what I wanted to say. Precipitation. So that you can participate. I knew this morning it was going to stink leaving the house because it was all icy and it was during rush hour.
That's right. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Listen, not my first rodeo. I've lived in this state for 40 years.
I will say that the teenager drove me to work today because they're all coming to pick me up to head out to Chicago after work for Thanksgiving.
Okay. Nice.
And I was that guy driving down the highway with the shelf of snow on the top of the car.
See that?
I know.
I'm going to give you a thumbs down sticker for that one, Jason, because when that snow comes flying off, you're not playing car.
Yeah.
Now you're a hazard for me.
I know.
What about the teenagers who are driving
This
behind?
is sad. What was I supposed to do about this?
You say, buddy, get your little extended brusher out, and you need to listen, LA. You need to clean that off.
I have a feeling somebody had too good of a time with his friends last night.
Well, then you say it louder.
I was the problem. I do apologize.
I
do apologize. Let's break. When we come back, Thanksgiving. I was watching the local TV this morning, and everybody had some woo-woo relationship expert telling you that you should avoid tough topics. I want to get Tracy's take on that. As you may have guessed, I have an opinion. So we'll talk about that when Drive Time comes back in a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country. But Congressman Tom Emmer is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families. ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Congressman Tom Emmer at 202-225-2331 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. People often ask me why our mattresses last so long. The answer is simple. We build them right. Not only are OMF mattresses durable, they give you peace of mind from day one. When you invest in a mattress from OMF, you're investing in better sleep tonight and smart savings for years to come. No more frequent replacements, no more wasted time shopping. To learn more about the true value of durability, visit originalmattress.com and read our latest blog on getting the most from your mattress investment.
MGM Wine and Spirits is the choice for savings, service, and a great selection of ice-cold beer, liquor, wine, alternative, and non-alcoholic beverages. With over 25 locations in the Twin Cities and beyond, there's an MGM near you. Head to mgmwineandspirits.com to find one. Follow MGM on social media for updates on amazing sales throughout the year. Make great moments with MGM Wine and Spirits, your locally owned and operated choice for over 50 years. Save time, save money. Shop MGM.
You can do this. Why? Because no one cares more about your money than you. Right now, many have concerns about their retirement, their investments. Are these mutual funds a poor investment? Did you know that with the average fees of 2%, you could be missing out on upwards of half of your potential retirement dollars? That's pretty high for management, especially when 75% of these funds underperform the market. At Trading Academy, our mission is to empower you to take control of your investments. Text investing to 210-210. Take control of your financial future. Maybe it's to just have a better conversation with your broker. Sign up for a free investing class, local classrooms, one-on-one mentoring, how to protect your investments against inflation. Text investing to 210-210 or go to learnwithota.com.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Just a quick question. Does it encrypt your online traffic the same as NordVPN?
No, but it protects your device. Just pop that CD in and you're good to go.
But it will stop your internet service provider and other snoopers from monitoring you online, right?
Oh, no, not really. It won't stop online snoopers or block annoying ads. In fact, forget what I said at the beginning of this ad. This ad is now about NordVPN. I just realized that an antivirus is only half protection online. So get better online protection with the NordVPN Black Friday deal. It will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. This Black Friday, get NordVPN with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months. Yeah!
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Delays on 394 eastbound between Lake Street and Penn Avenue. This is blocking the left lane and left shoulder. People are also walking around outside of their cars, so use caution. 694 eastbound between Victoria Street and Rice Street. We've got a crash there, and another accident on 62 eastbound between 55 and Sibley Memorial Highway. I'm Tina Marie on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn-McCreevy Funeral Chapels and Cremation Services has been providing compassionate and personalized service for over 160 years. Honor your loved one and ensure your own wishes are met. Call 612-377-2203 or visit washburnmccreevy.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO forecast brought to you by Washburn McCreevy Funeral, Cremation, and Pre-Planning Services. Tonight, it is breezy, 10 to 15 miles an hour, low of 20. Tomorrow, only up to 27, same sort of breezy weather. And Friday, Black Friday, 28. Cold Thanksgiving the day after, that's for sure, and more snow on Saturday. Right now, it is windy and 27 on CCO.
The ride home deserves better conversation. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, the FBI director, Kash Patel, saying in the last 3 minutes that the 2 guardsmen who were shot are not dead. but are in critical condition. The shooter will be charged with assault on a federal officer. Defense Department going to deploy 500 additional National Guard troops to Washington, D.C., so says the defense secretary. So we'll have the latest from CBS in about 8 minutes on that. We get back with Tracy Perlman. And Tracy, before the break, the self-help gurus are out in full force on local morning chat shows, giving people advice for how to navigate Thanksgiving without having any tough conversations. Nobody wants to have their feelings hurt on Thanksgiving.
No, just let me eat my pie.
I grew up in a family that enjoyed hurting the feelings of other family members through knockdown, drag-out political conversations. I say it makes us stronger. What do you think?
Here's the thing. I don't want to have those discussions with people. Like, I don't want to have to get involved unless I have to get involved. But if y'all want to go ahead and fight, I'm just going to sit there and eat my food and watch and take notes.
You don't want to weigh in? You don't want to tell Uncle Vern why he's so wrong in his hot take on ICE?
I will say I'm very lucky that the family I get together with, we all are pretty much the same. We're in the same boat when it comes politically. So the discussions will get heated, but not at each other. But I have been in.
Have you thought of welcoming like a Thanksgiving, interloper, like someone?
Just bring a friend.
Yeah, just bringing a friend with like a radically different viewpoint as you.
I could, or be like, hey, counterpoint, have we thought about this?
Now, that would be fun. You could just be the devil's advocate and see how far that gets you.
It tends to not be political discussions that get heated, but it's like the trash talking on the other cousins.
Yeah.
And that's, again, where I just go,
fun.
I'm going to just take an extra bite of this and sit back and just watch and listen.
Do your cousins do that to each other? Is it a lot of are these all girls? Are these all women?
No, they're, we do
it's
have
very sexist of me.
We have a couple boy cousins, but it's kind of like the older gen, like my parents' age of cousins that are they get sassy about some other relatives.
Yeah, my mom does that all the time too. Like it's a lot of trash talk about brothers, sisters. You're like, oh boy.
Yeah, and so that cousin, we never liked them, so we're like, oh okay, we know. So I enjoy that, but no, we haven't had any knockdown, drag down fights. But I've, working in news for so long and having to just stay neutral, you kind of know what topics are going to trigger people, and I'm really good at pivoting and putting out a fire. But I don't mind if other people want to have some fun with it. I'll sit back and drink and watch it happen.
We used to all kind of look at the Black Friday ads. This was like a big thing on Thanksgiving. And now barely anybody prints these anymore. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I've been asking Target. I know they think they've got all the ideas to solve their business woes.
Yeah.
But I think a Black Friday sale paper would go a long way.
Do you?
I love the sale paper.
I remember not too long ago going to Target on midnight and being that person to try to get the good deals. People don't do that anymore. And it upsets me. I miss the live shots where the Cabela's opened at one time and Best Buy opened at another. People were waiting in line. We were unified in that as a country. And now we're not.
You could bring the left and the right together, the rich and the poor. All of us were idiots
all at Best
waiting
Buy.
At Kohl's or Best Buy.
Yeah, Kohl's used to have good deals. Cabela's were always the best live shots.
I love a doorbuster.
Yeah. You don't get those anymore.
And I already got a doorbuster. I already went and got a doorbuster.
What did you do?
I got a water bottle at Target.
Oh. I got a water bottle. Do you have a certain percentage? Does something have to be so much on a sale for you to be like, that's a good Black Friday deal? Everything's 20% off these days.
I feel like 20 is an entree, right? 40 gets my attention.
Yeah. Yes.
I bought a door. I guess I am a Black Friday sucker. I bought a Best Buy. I bought a cordless vacuum from Best Buy this weekend. That was 60% off.
Oh, see, that
felt good. Now, did I do extensive research to see if they jacked it? No, but I felt good about it, and the vacuum works well, so.
There you go. I am now at the age where I don't get caught by ooh, that's fun and cool, I'm going to get it. but I will like have my list of things that I know I want. And then if they're on sale at a price I'm willing to pay, I will purchase.
What's your number? What is your number? You raised the question.
40%.
40.
Because
I will pay attention at 25.
I know you can go to any Macy's, Target. There, all that stuff is already 20% off.
Yeah, I suppose.
Regularly on a random Thursday in June, you can get a discount for 20%.
I was looking at some guys' clothes that were 30% off, like brands that usually don't go on sale.
Yes.
So like that stands out.
Yes. Makeup never goes on sale. So
Yeah. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
You as
Tracy.
well. Happy shopping. Happy eating.
Yes, we appreciate it. Tracy Perlman, everybody, every week. We're thankful for you coming on. I appreciate it.
Bye.
We'll get the latest from CBS News. D.C. mayor saying it was a targeted shooting against Guardsmen.
In business, timing is everything. When it's time to buy, sell, or merge, you need a legal team that moves fast, thinks smart, and protects every dollar. At Helmuth & Johnson, we have over 30 years of experience in mergers and acquisitions that get results. No red tape, no surprises, just smart strategy and airtight execution. Big deals need bold lawyers. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side. Visit hjlawfirm.com. That's hjlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Just a quick question. Does it encrypt your online traffic the same as NordVPN?
No, but it protects your device. Just pop that CD in and you're good to go.
But it will stop your internet service provider and other snoopers from monitoring you online, right?
Oh, no, not really. It won't stop online snoopers or block annoying ads. In fact, forget what I said at the beginning of this ad. This ad is now about NordVPN. I just realized that an antivirus is only half protection online. So get better online protection with the NordVPN Black Friday deal. It will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. This Black Friday, get NordVPN with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months. Yeah!
Winter is coming, and I'm talking about the chilly housing market. If you need to sell a house now, know that more people are saying no to listing on the ice cold open market and yes to my red hot guaranteed cash offer program. Get your guaranteed cash offer today at chrislindahl.com.
The news cycle never stops. Neither do we. News Talk 830 WCCO
1029 HD2 Minneapolis.
Streaming live via the
is
Odyssey and
CBS News on
iHeartRadio
the hour.
apps.
Sponsored by Steel.
I'm Cammie McCormick. 2 National Guardsmen have been shot in Washington, D.C., near the White House.
I heard boom, boom 2 times. And then the Uber driver said, why are all these people running?
D.C.'s mayor says the 2 guard personnel are in critical condition at local hospitals. FBI Director Kash Patel.
The 2 of our brave members of the National Guard and the Department of War were brazenly attacked in a horrendous act of violence.
CBS's Anna Schechter has more details.
There was a shootout type of situation. It is unclear, but it appears to be a kind of a lone wolf situation. An individual who took it upon himself to target these law enforcement agents. National Guard troops are generally very identifiable, particularly in this latest mission. They are wearing their camouflage fatigues, bulletproof vests. They are clearly marked as National Guard troops.
In Kentucky, Vice President J.D. Vance was meeting with troops ahead of Thanksgiving.
But I think it's a somber reminder that soldiers, whether they're active duty, reserve, or National Guard, our soldiers are the sword and the shield of the United States of America.
A judge has dismissed the Georgia election interference case against President Trump and others. CBS's Justice Department correspondent Scott McFarland has the story.
The local prosecutor who picked up this case a few days ago because the previous prosecutor, Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis, was disqualified. The new local prosecutor determined that a dismissal is warranted. It asked a judge to dismiss the case, and the judge promptly did so. What the local prosecutor is saying is that this matter was better handled by the feds, that he didn't see the evidence of a racketeering case at the local level, deferring all matters to the federal government, which dropped the case a year ago yesterday because Trump won the election, and you can't prosecute a sitting U.S. president.
Millions of Americans are on the move today for Thanksgiving. It was slow going in Minnesota, where a powerful storm was dumping snow on roadways. Jonah Kaplan in Minneapolis.
You see so many jackknife trucks, and there was even a stretch of about 60 miles of I-94 that was closed. So this is a real issue for drivers, especially, again, the first of the season.
On Wall Street today, ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday, stocks finished higher. The Dow Jones Industrials finished up 314 points. This is CBS News.
Check off the wish list with instant savings and free battery offers on select Steel tools. Shop online at steelusa.com or in-store.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cloudy, windy, 27 degrees at 4:03. I'm Laura Oakes. Metro roads in good shape this afternoon following our first real snowfall of the season overnight. And as happy hour and one of the busiest bar nights of the year starts to take hold, extra troopers are out on the roads to hopefully deter driving under the influence. Mike Hansen is director of the state's Office of Traffic Safety.
Impaired is impaired. Whatever you happen to be using over this weekend and over the rest of your life, whatever it is, make those decisions that are safe for you and for everybody else that you're sharing the road with.
He says, if possible, do whatever you can to stop an impaired driver, even if it means calling 911. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison joining 21 other attorneys general in filing a lawsuit to stop the federal government from cutting off food assistance benefits for thousands who need the help. He says the USDA revised its guidance, saying permanent residents who were granted asylum are no longer eligible.
Things are tough here in Minnesota as they are around the country for people who need SNAP benefits, particularly the communities that are new arrivals to our country, but are lawfully and legally here.
The Minnesota BCA is investigating an officer-involved shooting in Monticello last night. Wright County deputies saying they were confronted by a man carrying a large knife and yelling in the street. When he refused to drop the knife, a deputy shot the suspect. Minnesota has one of the worst measles vaccination rates among young children in the country.
Minnesota has seen a big drop in vaccinations among children compared with its pre-pandemic level from 92.5% to 86.5%, well below the U.S. average. State epidemiologist Ben Christensen.
Anytime you see the immunization coverage levels decline for whatever reason, if it's just missed opportunities or concerns about safety or access issues, anytime we see that coverage rate decline, we see these diseases pop back up.
And new measles cases have been reported in Dakota and Olmsted counties since the beginning of the school year, raising Minnesota's total to 24 confirmed cases in 2025. Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy in concussion protocol, former Gophers quarterback Max Brosmer could make his first NFL start on Sunday in Seattle. Head coach Kevin O'Connell says if that's the case, he has plenty of faith in his other young signal caller.
I think part of him and JJ being really close has allowed the two of them to kind of prepare together in many ways. So, he's done everything to be ready when his number's been called, and he'll be ready if that's what takes place on Sunday. And I'll have a lot of confidence in him if that's what happens.
Kickoff is at 3:05 on Sunday afternoon. WCCO News Time is 4:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
This holiday season, let's make sure everyone can fill their plates. Donate today at 2harvest.org/give. Watch for a crash blocking the left lane and left shoulder on 394 eastbound between Lake Street and Penn Avenue. Traffic update is brought to you by Second Harvest Heartland. 1 in 5 Minnesota families can't afford the food they need, but this holiday, we can come together as one Minnesota family to help. Donate now at 2harvest.org/give. I'm Tina Marie on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Get the perfect holiday gift. Chanhassen Dinner Theater's gift cards never expire and can be used for any show. White Christmas, the concert series, Stevie Ray's Comedy Cabaret, or coming soon, the high-rolling musical spectacular Guys and Dolls. Visit chanhassendt.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by the Chanhassen Dinner Theaters. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The roads will be in good shape the next couple of days for Thanksgiving travel. Mostly cloudy, still breezy tonight. Northwest wind 10 to 15 will drop back to about 20. Mostly cloudy. You'll still notice the wind tomorrow with a high of 27. Happy Thanksgiving. Friday, still mostly cloudy with a high of 28. Our next best chance of snow will be on Saturday.
Cloudy, still windy right now, 27 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Have a happy Thanksgiving from News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
Well, we're still learning more about the ICE arrest, immigration arrest in a St. Paul neighborhood yesterday. It's Jason. Welcome to Drive Time. Lots of questions. Journalists saying they were targeted by St. Paul police. A statement by the Society for Professional Journalists asking for a full investigation to find out what was going on there. As 3 journalists reported being hit by projectiles. 2 said it was a like a pepper spray, like bomb, I guess, like a project, sort of like a paintball, like a pepper spray ball. And one wasn't specific about what it was. There are lots of questions by elected officials. Today, immigration authorities said that the man they arrested came to the U.S. illegally from Honduras, and they say he was previously removed from the U.S. He has a domestic abuse and disorderly conduct history, according to the Department of Homeland Security. The family says he was a 26-year-old man, hardworking and humble. So you can have the debate about what ICE is doing. I've been clear that I support the goal of getting people who are here without documentation, people who are here illegally and are a danger, are a menace, are criminals, getting them out of here. I do not think that is largely what we're doing. That said, I have my issues with this idea that when an arrest is going down, we got to marshal 200 protesters to the scene, which inevitably has tensions high and always seems to end with some sort of clash. So lots of questions to be asked. We wanted to get some insight from St. Paul City Council member Molly Coleman, who has posted about this on Blue Sky, saying she is furious and devastated that ICE was present, but she's got a lot of questions about the police officers from her city's department. Molly is with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker hotline. And why don't we get, first of all, your overall reaction to what went down yesterday?
What happened yesterday is incredibly distressing. I don't think anybody can look at what we know about the situation yesterday, look at the videos, look at the firsthand accounts that have come out and not be incredibly alarmed. You know, first and foremost, we had ICE once again operating in our city, the second time in less than 2 weeks that we have had a significant mobilization of ICE and other federal agents in a way that causes incredible fear and alarm and harm in our city. And then what we saw from the St. Paul Police Department has rightfully caused an incredible amount of frustration and distress amongst the residents of the city of St. Paul. And I think that people are right to be asking questions and right to be demanding a full accounting of what happened yesterday, why the police were there, why, whether our separation ordinance was followed, whether our use of force policies were followed, and to be demanding accountability if it is found that our laws and our policies were not followed yesterday.
We're talking with Molly Coleman, St. Paul City Council member, Ward 4. You raise the issue of whether St. Paul police should have been there at all. Why ask that question? Where are you coming down on that?
I think that we need to look at the entire chain of events that took place yesterday. We need to understand who made the call to the St. Paul Police Department, who made the decision that officers would go out to that scene, who made the decision that they would arrive in the gear that they did with the equipment that they were carrying, who made the decision to authorize the use of force that we saw yesterday. We can look at, again, the videos that we've seen, the firsthand accounts that we've heard, but I think we need to zoom out and look at the entire sequence of events and understand who was making decisions, how are they justifying those decisions, and were those the right calls? And I think that people are rightfully concerned that they were not. And that is our job as the leadership of the city. It's the job of the police department, but also the council and the mayor's office to be getting answers to those questions that the public is demanding. And then if the answers show that, again, our policies, our laws weren't followed, to ensure that there is true accountability.
So if there is ICE action and there are protesters who gather at the scene, enforcement activity, don't local police have an obligation to show up if there's some sort of, if you have a gathering of protesters in the street, for example?
This is not the first time that we've had ICE raids, ICE activity in our city. Just last week in my Ward 4 at Brotex, we had an ICE operation where the St. Paul police did not get involved. And so there are going to be times, we know, when there are large gatherings of people where, if things are escalating, if things are creating a threat to public safety, it might be appropriate for the police to be there. But we also know that the mere presence of federal law enforcement agents, that the mere presence of protesters does not necessitate a police response. Again, we saw that just last week. So there were decisions that were made here. There are clearly decisions that are being made about if and when police are deployed to a scene. And I think that these are the questions that we need to be asking and getting answers to.
Is there a responsibility when you have protesters who are on the scene of an action, right? It's one thing to be protesting in the street or protesting outside City Hall or protesting wherever you want to protest. But when you are protesting as a federal raid is going on, doesn't that to a certain degree invite escalation?
So we have a right to protest in this country. Folks were there, engaged in lawful First Amendment protected protests, were engaged in lawful constitutional observing. That is entirely legal. And we also know that it is essential that folks who are protesting, who go to these federal actions, these federal raids, have an obligation to remain peaceful.
Yeah, it's hard because it takes one person to pick up a brick, right? You can have 100 people who are being awesome, and one person picks up a brick, and now you have a situation.
And that's why we have a use of force policy. And that's why we have a police department that we hold to the highest of standards. Because if there are people who are engaging in escalatory behavior, and again, we know with certainty that the vast majority of folks who were there yesterday were not engaged in that escalatory behavior.
Right.
But if there are one or two people who are, then the police have policies that need to be followed. And that's where we need to be ensuring that if those policies weren't followed, that there is accountability. And some of the videos that we saw yesterday have called that into very serious question.
Minnesota Society of Professional Journalism has issued a professional journalist has issued a statement saying at least 3 credentialed journalists were hit by kind of the less lethal rubber bullet, whatever the exact thing was. But 3 people say they were hit in the head, one with a pepper ball. 2 of them were hit with pepper ball rounds, and another was hit in the shoulder. The journalists are saying, look, from where we were standing, it looked like police knew, like we're making eye contact. They knew we were journalists and took this action. I guess, to be honest, this doesn't sound like St. Paul police to me. Right? Like typically, I think St. Paul police has had very good relationship with the city. We have talked on this show about the difference we've seen in the way the community and the police have sort of forged a path in St. Paul as comparison to what we see in Minneapolis. What's your reaction to sort of what the Society of Professional Journalists is saying?
So I take very, very seriously the statement that the Society of Professional Journalists put out today. The fact that they have alleged that police officers targeted journalists specifically is something that should alarm every single person who cares about the Constitution, every single person who cares about living in a free and democratic society, and should be investigated with thoroughness, speed, and accuracy. I think to your point about that this is not how we conceptualize the St. Paul Police Department, I think you're absolutely right. And part of what I think has caused so much distress in the community, so much of what I have heard from residents of the city of St. Paul is that people have incredibly high standards for our police department, and that most of the time the police department meets those standards, and that we feel good about living in a city in which the police have worked hard to build relationships with the community, to invest in true public safety. And we know that having a strong relationship between the community and our police department is essential to ensuring public safety. And yesterday, people are feeling that that trust was broken, and that we can no longer say that we have a police department who lives up to the high standards that we rightfully set for it. And so this is why every single person, every leader in the city has to take this seriously. This is about basic public safety. And unfortunately, with this administration in DC, we know that this is not the last time we're going to see ICE in our city. We know that this is not the last time that we are going to see residents out protesting the actions of the federal government. So we can't wait 6 months or a year for an after-action review to tell us what happened yesterday and what maybe should or shouldn't happen in the future. We need to move quickly because this is a live situation, and we have to ensure that our police meet the standards that our community holds for them.
Well, and I think just like protesters don't want to be painted with a broad brush when you have, one or two or three or however many people were supposedly tearing down the perimeter and picking up rocks and stones. I guess I would hope that the residents of St. Paul wouldn't say, all right, this was awful yesterday, if it turns out that it was, in fact, violating policy or violating morality or whatever. You don't want to dismiss the police, without evidence that they were, in fact, acting in the wrong.
Certainly. And this is why asking the right questions, looking at what happened yesterday from start to finish, understanding what was the result of individual decision making versus systemic or larger decision making, where breakdowns occurred is so essential, because you're absolutely right that we need to understand the situation. We need to take care to understand exactly what happened and not paint with broad brushes or suggest solutions or outcomes that don't actually get at the heart of what the public wants, which is accountability and real safety and real protection for the residents of our city.
Molly Coleman, City Council member for St. Paul. Lots of questions still to be asked, and we appreciate you sharing some of your thinking on this with us here on CCO. Thanks, Molly.
Thanks so much.
So that's Molly Coleman. That's her take on this. What's yours? Some of you already texting. More text welcome. 651-461-9226. I'll tell you some of the pictures, and if you're watching along, you saw as I showed them on our stream on YouTube at WCCO Radio. One of the things that makes streaming this show on video fun is that you can rewind while the show is happening. So dial it up. YouTube.com/WCCO Radio. Give us a follow and a subscribe, but you can rewind and see some of those pictures, and that'll let us know what you think. At 651-461-9226. Drive Time back in a minute.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I just got an email from J.H. & Sons, and you can sign up to be on their email list at jhandsons.com. J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina. It is my number one place where I go to for quality menswear. And right now, J.H. & Sons has got Black Friday savings that kick in on Friday. So they'll be closed on Thanksgiving tomorrow. And who's going to the Galleria in the next couple hours? That's probably not happening. But the Black Friday savings include 50% off select sport coats. That starts Friday and runs through Sunday. So 50% off seasonal sport coats. This is amazing. Then they got 20% off a bunch of other wonderful, high-quality brands at J.H. & Sons. If you've been waiting to upgrade your wardrobe, now is the time. J.H. & Sons has elevated my look big time for the WCCO radio holiday party. That was a look from J.H. & Sons. Last week, I was in a fashion show raising money for M Health Fairview's Children's Hospital at the University of Minnesota. That was a J.H. & Sons look. And we're taking family pictures this weekend, and that will also be a J.H. & Sons look. Suits, they got you. Tuxedos, you bet. You got weddings coming up, they got you covered. But if you're looking for a great night out, a party night on the town, elevate your style. Do it with the best service in town and the best people in town. That's J.H. & Sons. They're at the Galleria in Edina. Go see them Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and let them know you heard about it right here on Drive Time.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's Chicken Pot Pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
Look, he's a personable guy.
Which goes a long way.
It does. Look at how far it's gotten you in life.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
Right to AM radio Drive Time. That's what it's
Raw
called.
talent.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
I mean, no giant surprise that most of you are not on the side of protesters here. 651-461-9226. Now, I will say this, just because the journalists say they were targeted doesn't mean they were. I totally agree with the statement from the Society of Professional Journalists, because this is what you should do. You should stand up for your journalists. And in their statement, they said 3 local journalists, photojournalists, clearly identified as press, were injured by St. Paul police officers while covering a story. I will say this. There's a lot of body camera footage that will tell the story. Was it clear that they were press? Just because you are press doesn't mean that you can obstruct police. But cops don't usually pepper spray photojournalists. Now, I will say I saw a lot of the video from out there in St. Paul. It is chaotic. Everyone has a cell phone camera. Everyone is recording. It is very stressful. And this is why police have procedures for this as to when they should deploy tear gas or whatever, pepper spray. That said, look, when you look at the video and an aggressive amount of people are yelling F you at the cops the whole time I don't know. Like, am I losing my street cred as someone who is empathetic to people who protest when I am not really that empathetic? If you're going to go F this, F that, rushing the police line, getting in police officers' faces, I just don't have a lot of empathy for it. And like, yeah, you're going to get pepper sprayed. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
Now, I think people should protest, but I do think there is a line between protesting and interfering. And I think if you, show up at the scene of an arrest, and Chad and I were talking about this just before our show started, we disagree. I think when you show up at an arrest scene in the middle of a law enforcement operation, unless you're just standing there recording, it is difficult to, when you're assembling the masses, like, yeah, it's going to get wound up. It's going to be interfering. Now, there are times in our history that people who have been observing an arrest scene have been incredibly positive influences. And at the time, they were perceived as being an irritant. And the murder of George Floyd comes to mind to me, where there were people standing there yelling at Derek Chauvin to check George Floyd's pulse, and Chauvin wouldn't. And so who was right in that case? It was the people. But the people did not start live streaming on Facebook and send out a text that said, ICE raid, bring more people.
Yeah.
I think there is, yes, technically this is protesting, but I think the main goal of protesters is to interrupt and intervene. And I think that gets treated differently. I just do. Now, in this case, did the police overreact? I don't know. It's certainly possible. Just because I think the protests are out of line doesn't mean that the police were not also out of line.
Yeah.
And whenever you see police officers using pepper spray on citizens, it's gross.
Yeah.
It's problematic. It's difficult to watch, right? I mean, you watch plenty of this stuff, Josh. Am I off my rocker on this thing?
I will say I watched a lot of this from afar 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Because this is the first thing I thought of yesterday when I saw these video footage from St. Paul, windows being smashed from things being thrown and pepper spray, not just at civilians, but also media members.
Right.
And
right.
A lot of that happened right outside of the studio here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's eerily similar to kind of the events that happen with that when it comes to protesting.
I do think protesting an act and protesting a murder is different.
Yes.
Than showing up in the middle of an ICE action.
Yeah.
Now, again, I am against the ICE action.
Yes.
Like, I'm not coming at this from that perspective. A texter saying, sorry, I'm not risking another life, another George Floyd situation. I'll be there and peaceful until they cross the line every time I can. I respect that. If you're going to go and show up and be peaceful, it's not my choice, but I also think that is a respectable, beautiful American tradition. The issue is that there are a lot of people who are showing up who are there to make things escalate. And so what do you do? It only takes one or two people, and then now it's a whole thing.
If you are, I'm not saying this applies to all people that were protesting or have protested, even whether it's St. Paul or here, but if you are a protester, from that point of view, are you going to take the time to stop projecting your voice to let them identify themselves, whether they do or not? These people are showing up with masks, and I don't know the details as far as if they did indeed. I don't think they did identify who they were or what they were.
Well, it was obvious.
Doing.
I mean, they all had like ICE.
Yeah. It's just
but yes, their masks are covered. You don't know who they are.
So, I mean, just taking the time to.
But it gets live streamed, and a couple texters were asking, how did these protesters know to show up? And so a neighbor live streams, there's a nice thing going on, and then some people see it, and then they say, bring more people. And so it kind of blows up on social media. That's
doesn't take much to look up an intersection if you see something on a video. I can say,
well, people are calling them.
Well, yeah,
so that's what it is. It's we're trying to get people to the scene. And are you really there to protest, or are you really there to try to interrupt what ICE is doing?
Yeah.
And look, if you want to try to interrupt what ICE is doing, history may be on your side in that thing.
Maybe.
But you also have to be ready to accept that you're going to get pepper spray.
Yeah.
And most of us in the moment are not going to be super empathetic. That said, if cops went too far, they should be held accountable. And the city of St. Paul and the police department, the police chief, they at least are saying the right things, that the investigation will be underway. If you have a couple people picking up bricks or acting like they're going to throw something, I don't know, man. Or what are we supposed to ask the officers to do? Well, just wait and make sure they don't.
I don't know about that. I don't think if you're throwing something through my back windshield, I don't think you're there to peacefully protest anything. I think you're just trying to, kind of what you said, you're just trying to escalate the situation.
All right, let's break. We got fun on tap as well. Thanksgiving is tomorrow. And one of my favorite resources is a passion project of a local guy that you may know from seeing on Channel 5. Mike Marcotte has assembled the premier holiday lights guide for the Twin Cities, and it is bigger than ever. We'll talk with Mike about that effort when we come back here on Drive Time.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hey everybody, it's Henry Lake of the Lake Show, and you may be asking, what is the Lake Show? Everybody knows that I love sports. I love music. I love to read. I love the arts. And as much as I love new age technology, I love reminiscing about buying cards and comics from Schindler's just as we talk pop culture. Whether agreeing or disagreeing, we want to have a lot of fun, and that's what we do every single night right here on The Lake Show.
You already listen. We're just here to remind you why. News Talk 830 WCCO.
The holidays will be here soon.
And whether you've been coming to Thielen Meats and Piers for generations
or looking to start a new family tradition,
you'll want to put us on your holiday wish list.
We're the #1 meat market in Minnesota.
We add those melt-in-your-mouth moments to your holiday celebration.
High-quality meats that keep our customers coming back for more.
That's why we've become a holiday tradition for so many folks.
No meals complete without Thielen Meats
of Piers.
Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. Hear what they're saying about this brand I love.
Tell me about your experience with the night gummies.
I started using them. I think this is my 3rd order. I heard Jordana on WCCO radio talking about it, and I thought, well, if she's doing it, trying to get off the Ambien, and I started with the pineapple gummies for sleep. That's what I take them for, is sleep. And I've been very pleased with the product. I started with the full gummy. Now I only take half, and that helps me sleep. So I'm very happy with the product, and I'm 70 years old. And those Sleep Night gummies will help her sleep painlessly through the night. Those Sleep Night gummies are a real charm. Check out Mini Leaf's products at MINNELEAF.com. Check out that Triple Diamond Pain Cream, those Sleep Night gummies, or their other great products. I use them. There's so many CCOers that absolutely love them. You will too.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
November is all about gathering, Friendsgiving, Thanksgiving, and football weekends. Total Wine & More has wines, beers, and spirits to make every moment special. You'll always find what you love and love what you find, only at Total Wine & More. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. B21.
Anytime is tune-up time with Apollo Heating, Air, and Plumbing. For only $59, get your furnace ready for another rough Minnesota winter. Go to callapollo.com and schedule your tune-up today. That's callapollo.com.
Chad back here with you on CCO. I want to talk insurance and the group I have trusted for 30 years. Not just me, my father, my boys. We have been with Amber Scholl and Associates the entire time. They are with American Family, and trust is the right word. When something awful happens with your business or your home or your car, you need people who are available. You need individuals who have a team, and they've handled every situation. Amber and her team have done that. Let's be honest. Insurance rates are complicated. You need someone who knows this business in all ways, And I wouldn't be with Amber for 30 years unless I totally believed in her. Call today, 651-738-4811, and tell me you heard this spot from Chad on CCO.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Bring joy to every family. Donate now at SalvationArmyNorth.org. Watch for debris in the center lane on 94 westbound between Brooklyn Boulevard and Zane Avenue. I can't tell exactly what it is, but it's something big. Again, it's in the center lane, and then there's a smaller portion in the left lane. Again, use caution. This holiday season, thousands of Minnesota families are struggling just to get by. You can help by donating to the Salvation Army. Your gift will provide comfort, hope, and joy to local families. Donate now at SalvationArmyNorth.org. I'm Tina Marie on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast time. The snow is done, but the cold is here. Here's Chris Schaefer.
It's going to be mostly cloudy the next couple of days. At least we'll be dry and the roads will be in good shape. Falling back to 20 tonight, still breezy. You'll notice that wind tomorrow for Thanksgiving. Mostly cloudy on Friday with a high of 28. Next best chance of snow, well, that would be on Saturday. This one targeting the southern third of the state.
It is windy out there, gusting up to 30. Sustained winds around 14 miles an hour in St. Paul, where it's 28 on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
Anything that we can do to proliferate his legacy. I mean, he's obviously a massive star, and they've done incredible things, not only for the world, but for Minneapolis and St. Paul and Minnesota.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Well, one day out in front of Thanksgiving, and for a lot of us over the next couple of days, you start doing your first Christmas tree shopping. Maybe, if it warms up a little bit, I don't know, you got to get the lights up if you haven't done it already. But a lot of the bigger light displays are already ready to rock. And for 9 years now, Mike Marcotte has been preparing this guide of holiday lights in Minnesota, and he's with us here on CCO. Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas, Mike. It's always good to see you. Are you ready for this? This is 9 years. How many light shows and displays do you have in the guide? Are you ever surprised at the fact that there's just more and more? There's no sign of this slowing down.
Besides drive around in our cars with our families and look at lights, and people are really excited about this year.
Well, it is special. And last year I used your guide. We rented a limo and loaded up my in-laws and my young nephews. We used your guide to curate a little Christmas lights display tour that we could do and just enjoy. Your guide was awesome to help us do it.
Oh, well, thanks for using my guide. And that's the beautiful part of it, is that you can go on my website, give me the mic, MIKE.com. There's an interactive map, and you can say, I live up in Maple Grove or now in St. Paul or wherever you are, Inver Grove Heights.
That's where I'm living.
Jason, I can't follow where you're at.
Unclear.
What city are you in? So you can put in your location, and then you can
It is Mike, M-I-K-E. Mike Marcotte is our guest. GiveMeTheMic.com. So, you have a sponsor. You do organize this into some of the bigger displays, right? Because people do like to experience that. But you also have one guy on the one block that has a cool display too, right?
are really Winter Wonderland. This is one of my favorite displays in the guide this year. 1,000 lights, and it's all
Yes. That's crazy. That's crazy. Really cool. Oh, I didn't know they were bringing that back. That's so cool. Huh. Yeah, understandable. I think anybody who's ever priced like what it costs to get your house professionally lit, which I have done before, and you're like, oh my gosh, it is expensive. And when you look at some of these light displays, you can understand. I mean, the commitment that people have to doing this is, to me, it's amazing. It's got to blow you away too. Oh, really? That's cool. Oh, smart. It is sort of amazing. The website is givemethemic.com for the 2025 Minnesota Holiday Lights display guide. I was amazed when we were going out as a family last year, how many people have these sort of, I don't know if it's kind of a computer generated type light show where you could hear the music in your car. That used to be sort of rare. And now I think there's these kits that you can buy because people had like these sort of LED light, like giant fixtures, you know what I mean? Where it's not someone stringing out a strand of lights in a design. It's you plunk down the Santa, you plunk down the tree, whatever the case may be. It was cool, but there is a point where I'm like, I do sort of feel my heart flutter a little more for the DIY type aspect of a display, but it all is kind of neat. Yeah. Oh yeah. Cool. That's Copland Way, right in Grove Heights. That one. Yeah. I'm looking at the guide. Mm, yeah. Mike is a guest. Give me the mic.com. is his website with the Holiday Lights Guide. Is there a suburb? Is there a part of town that you think like does this up more than anybody else? Wow. What do you think it is? Is it just contagious? Like, because enough people start doing it, it spreads, or do they just love Christmas more in Inver Grove Heights? It's good, people. It's good, people. It's a great city. Why not? Now, do you decorate your own house, or you're like, no, too cheap? Okay. Not on the guy, yes. I had blue and white lights one year, and I loved it. And all of my neighbors were like, "We didn't know you were Jewish." And I'm like, "I'm Catholic. Like, I just love the blue and white." They're like, "Oh, we thought it was like a Hanukkah." Yeah, two houses. Yeah. Look at you with a positive attitude. You easily could have taken that and been like, "The jerkwad next door is ripping off my bed." Yes. Yeah. No, it's very good. Well, I love the guide. Like I said, I used it last year. It's a great way to kind of plan out what you're going to do, or maybe plot out a couple different neighborhoods and make a multi-week event of it, right? But why not start this weekend? Yeah. All over Minnesota, southern western Wisconsin as well, including Somerset and River Falls and Hudson and that part of the state. And our listening area too. Mike, we appreciate it. I love this effort. I know it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work, isn't it? That's good. All right. Our own little Christmas elf, Mike Marcotte, spreading the joy here on CCO. Thanks, Mike. Back in just a minute here on Drive Time.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now is the time to start thinking about making an appointment with Tureen Dermatology. It's Jason here from my friend, my dermatologist, Dr. Mohiba Tureen. And the reason now is the time is because the savings are tremendous. The Tureen team just told me about some of the great deals that they have coming your way over the next couple of months. And so if you're somebody who's been thinking about maybe some cosmetic work, so maybe a laser treatment or a skin pen microneedling or cool sculpting, Friday, starting Black Friday through Monday, you're going to get the biggest cosmetic discounts of the year on that. Tureen right now, if you go to TureenDermatology.com, click on the menu, go to the store, and then you click on Black Friday. They've got their holiday gift card special where you spend $300, you get $50 free. And you can do that 5 times. Up to $250 in bonus savings. That is amazing. And if you're a skincare lover, which I am, I get all sorts of different products at Tureen Dermatology, from serums to moisturizers to sunscreen. 20% off all products and 50% off select favorites. All of that starting on Black Friday. So set a calendar reminder to go to TureenDermatology.com and make that appointment. If you haven't seen a dermatologist, don't put it off. Before the end of the year, you can use that kind of medical savings money that you have tucked away. Let's go. Tureen, Tareen, dermatology.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Great work doesn't happen by accident. It happens in the right environment. At iSpace Environments, we bring together office furniture, architectural walls, and integrated technology to create spaces that help people work better, feel better, and connect more easily. We're a 100% employee-owned company built on the potential of partnership to help organizations create environments that look and perform beautifully. Whether you're an architect shaping a vision, a project manager juggling timelines, or a business leader reimagining your workplace, we make the process easy, seamless, and even enjoyable. From early planning to final installation and support beyond, we take ownership of the details that matter most. Because at iSpace, your success is our success. Visit iSpaceEnvironments.com to discover how our partnership can help your people feel better, work better, and connect better.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Look out for a crash on 169 southbound. This is between Anderson Lakes Parkway and Pioneer Trail. This is causing about a 10-minute delay. And we've got debris on the roadway of 94 eastbound between 49th Avenue North and Dowling Avenue North. I'm Tina Marie on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm Mary Jo Copeland. Sharing and Caring Hands has been helping people in need for 41 years, thanks to your generosity. To learn more, to donate, go to sharingandcaringhands.org. Make a difference in the lives of others and give hope to the children. May God bless you all.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Sharing and Caring Hands bringing us the forecast. Breezy tonight and tomorrow. The low will be 20. Tomorrow we don't get much warmer, only 27 for Thanksgiving. Black Friday, if you're visiting the stores, will be at 28. Maybe more snow coming on Saturday. Great. Right now it's 28, windy on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha, video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Did I hear right that some schools canceled in the metro today? Robbinsdale schools called off school because the forecast, even at the worst yesterday, the forecast for the metro, like Robbinsdale, was like 1 to 3.
Makes no sense.
I don't know. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts, and I don't even have kids in school.
Yeah.
I think we're such cowards when it comes to any sort of potential lawsuit, right? That you're like, well, may as well just cancel. I just think it's ridiculous.
And you guys have been in the Osseo district. How long?
Well, we're out now.
Yeah, you're out now.
But it was, so, I don't know, 15 years
15?
or so.
I've had one snow day in probably the whole time I was in high school.
Yeah.
20.
Now it's
08, even 07. Let's go back to junior high. 07, 06-ish, all the way through 2011. No. 10 feet of snow, get your butt to school.
I mean, it was timing. It was the timing. I think the problem is that if the bus is 5 minutes late, some parent is going to freak out. But what about all the other parents who are not inclined to freak out, who now have to figure out childcare for every one of these? I just think it's crazy. I don't know.
Tough enough.
I feel for the superintendents and the schools, right?
Yeah.
Whatever choice you make, people are mad. But, sometimes powering through is all right. And if, as a parent, you don't want your kid to go to school, keep your kid home. It's your kid. Don't worry about it. Like, you still have control over your own children.
Yeah.
The schools, now all these parents have to figure it out. Plus, like, when are you supposed to get the turkey? You got to, people are people shopping still? I hope not. If you have not taken your turkey out of the freezer, by the way, you're hosed. It's over. Buy a ham, because it's not going to work out for you tomorrow. DeRush Hour News headlines and the latest from CBS coming up.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
Thanksgiving is coming, and one of the things I'm thankful for is the fact that I've got 50 people making sure I've got the best insurance deal and the best coverage, and they do this for me every year. It's Jason here for the Canopy Group, and let's talk Thanksgiving. Would you be satisfied if the only side you could have this Thanksgiving night was canned cranberries? That's sort of the same deal when you have one agent who only represents one company. The Canopy Group, just like your mom's Thanksgiving dinner, is all about options. And so they offer 16 different companies and those 50 licensed turkeys working behind. Well, they wouldn't like to be called turkey. Let's call them insurance experts, making sure you've got the best solution at the best price. Do not get stuck on Thanksgiving with canned cranberries only. Get options. Get to my team at thecanopygroup.com.
Keeping you in the know and in the conversation. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Streaming live via the Odyssey and iHeartRadio app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. 2 National Guard personnel have been shot in Washington, D.C.
The suspect came around the corner, raised his arm with a firearm, and discharged it at the National Guard members.
It happened just 2 blocks from the White House. CBS's Nicole Skanga.
At this time, there is believed to be no nexus to the White House or the president, despite the close proximity at which this all played out to the People's House.
FBI Director Kash Patel.
President Trump has been informed. We've been in contact with the White House.
I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington. Posting from Mar-a-Lago, the president said the suspect in the shooting will, quote, pay a very steep price. He also contacted Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who was in the Dominican Republic.
President Trump has asked me, and I will ask the Secretary of the Army, to the National Guard to add 500 additional troops, National Guardsmen, to Washington, D.C.
Saying the shooting will, quote, only stiffen our resolve.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer wrote on X, "My heart breaks for the victims of this horrific shooting." Florida Republican Senator Rick Scott wrote, "Violence against our men and women in uniform is disgusting. God be with them and their families."
CBS's Anna Schechter reports this will likely lead to increased security across the country.
This kind of an event, this targeted attack, so close to the White House is going to trigger a bulletin that goes out to law enforcement, not just in New York City ahead of the Thanksgiving Day parade tomorrow, but to major cities around the country and to their partners in the area. Law enforcement is going to be very concerned about copycat attacks. Right now, we have a lot of federal law enforcement deployed in multiple cities. It's not just the National Guard, it's Border Patrol agents, it's ICE.
The suspect was wounded and is also hospitalized. In other news, the election interference case against President Trump in Georgia was dismissed today, as Jonathan O'Brien reports.
It was once viewed as the strongest of the criminal cases against President Trump, but following a review of the evidence, the case has been dismissed. Emory University law professor Dr. John Acevedo says he's not surprised.
No case is bulletproof. And then added on that just the sheer costs and time consumption that it would take.
In the court filing for the dismissal, Pete Skandalakis, executive director of the Prosecuting Attorneys Council, says the decision, quote, has been guided solely by the evidence, the law, and principles of justice. Jonathan O'Brien for CBS News, Atlanta.
On Wall Street today, stocks finished higher ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. The Dow up 314 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cloudy, breezy, 27 degrees at 5:03. I'm Laura Oakes. Metro roads in good shape after an icy, slushy start to the day. Still, the Minnesota State Patrol responded to dozens of crashes, spin-outs, cars in the ditch, and jackknife semis following our first real blast of winter weather. WCCO TV meteorologist Chris Schaefer says you could call it a bit of weather whiplash.
We had a daily record high on Sunday. It was a top 10 weather day. This is a top 10 bad weather day out there. At least the snow is out of here. The clouds have been very clingy, and that'll be the case for the next couple of days.
Also the case for the next couple of days, colder temperatures with highs only in the 20s and more snow and possibly messy roads Friday night into Saturday. Chris's full forecast coming up in 3 minutes. The night before Thanksgiving is notorious for old friends getting together at bars for what some call drunksgiving. But state safety leaders say too much partying could cost you in more ways than one.
The numbers are alarming.
From 2020 to 2024, nearly 2,000 people were seriously injured in impaired driving related crashes in the state of Minnesota. 668 people were killed as a result of an impaired driver in the state of Minnesota.
Mike Hansen is director of the state's Office of Traffic Safety. He says all of this is completely preventable, and he is encouraging everyone to have a plan for a sober ride. And if someone is about to drive drunk, call 911.
It's a gift that has no cost, but it will and does save lives.
Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Investigators continue to piece together what led to an officer-involved shooting in Monticello last night.
The shooting happened after the Wright County Sheriff's Office was called just before 9 p.m. about a man who was carrying a large knife and yelling in the street. Deputies used a taser to subdue the suspect, who ignored commands to drop the knife. A deputy then opened fire and struck the man. That deputy is on critical incident leave, which is standard procedure. No deputies were injured. The Minnesota BCA is investigating. Taylor Rivera, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Minnesota seeing a drop in the number of measles vaccinations among kindergartners. State epidemiologist Ben Christensen.
So part of it has to do with families missing their routine well child visits during those pandemic years. And so they're working to get caught up. They've maybe been partially vaccinated, but don't have all of the required doses and all the doses they need to be fully protected.
He says other concerns are about the safety of vaccines and access to them. The number of measles cases in Minnesota is among the highest in 2 decades. WCCO News Time is 5:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Well, we still have that crash on 169 southbound between Anderson Lakes Parkway and Pioneer Trail. However, this is not causing any delays. Another crash, 494 eastbound between Nicollet Avenue and Portland Avenue. And watch for debris in the roadway on 94 eastbound between 49th Avenue North and Dowling Avenue North. I'm Tina Marie on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The roads will be in good shape the next couple of days for Thanksgiving travel. Mostly cloudy, still breezy tonight. Northwest wind 10 to 15 will drop back to about 20. Mostly cloudy, you'll still notice the wind tomorrow with a high of 27. Happy Thanksgiving. Friday, still mostly cloudy with a high of 28. Our next best chance of snow will be on Saturday.
Cloudy right now, 27 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Happy Thanksgiving from all of us at News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
All right, it is the night before Thanksgiving. I hope you've gotten wherever you're headed, or at least tonight it's going to be, well, better than last night at this time with the rain and the roads all clogged up and a real mess. It's Jason. Welcome to Drive Time. I'm so glad that you are spending part of this holiday week with us. I will be getting in a car in about 50 minutes when my wife will arrive here in downtown Minneapolis outside our studios, and off we go to Chicago to see my family. My son Seth is flying in from New York, from NYU, so we'll all be there. Now, Seth is dealing with kind of an interesting scenario. A number of people have been reporting that there aren't as many people flying this Thanksgiving, which makes sense. Josh is here for Dan today, but it makes sense, Josh, because, I think people were nervous based on the government shutdown. Yep. Is it worth all the headaches? This year, maybe people choosing just to skip it and stay close to home.
Yeah, there's a lot of unrest when it comes to whether or not I'm going to make my flight to go see said family members. So
Seth's
even if it
flight,
is something to Chicago, it's...
Well, from New York to Chicago, they have a ton of flights, but the number of flights on the way to Chicago, United is reporting that the number of flights is limited to allow air traffic control to safely manage the volume along the route. So his flight is delayed about a half hour. But just part of the reality today, right? We don't have enough air traffic controllers. We are trying to keep the system safe. Are people opting out of flying? I don't know. Lots of questions. So there are areas to go beyond the normal news media camping out at the airport with the busiest travel day of the year.
Live hits from MSP.
Kind of interesting. Some of the fact that we still have some at least if you're going to be stuck anywhere, being stuck at MSP is pretty good.
Yeah, it's a nice airport.
It's a nice airport. Although, how nice can it be once you've entered hour 2?
Yeah.
Hour 3, a delay. Not that.
Go sleep in the news truck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's get you up to date on some of the biggest headlines of the day. We call it the DeRush Hour News Headline.
The headlines you might have missed without missing a beat. This is your fast pass through the biggest and most impactful stories of the day. Welcome to the DeRush Hour Headlines, starting with the lead.
And obviously the biggest story of the day, 2 National Guard members, both in critical condition after a shooting very near the White House in Washington, D.C. The Guardsmen were members of the West Virginia National Guard. The gunman is in custody, officials saying within the last hour it looks like he acted alone. What is the response of the White House? More National Guards men and women being ordered to Washington in response. The National Guard has been in D.C. as part of a federal takeover of the police department there in response to rising crime rates. At least that's what the White House has said. Earlier today, the governor of West Virginia said that both guardsmen have been killed. That statement has been backtracked. We hope that these guardsmen make it.
Yeah.
But my goodness, we got to be more careful in getting
That's a big
reports.
oops. Yeah.
Yeah. The Washington Police Department saying National Guard members, those two who were shot, were armed at the time of the attack. What we don't know is who shot the suspect. Was the shooter shot by these National Guard members? Did someone else shoot him? Did he shoot himself? We don't know. The mayor of the District of Columbia calling the attack a targeted shooting. But that's about all we know at this point. We don't know much about the motive. We don't know much about the shooter. But obviously, more to come and more updates. The biggest heartbreak is just the fact that National Guards members are teachers and scientists and factory workers who love their country so much that they dedicate time to be citizen soldiers, and to think that two of these men are not going to be sitting at the table for Thanksgiving because of some absolute monster who was possessed today to round a corner right in downtown Washington, D.C., 2 blocks from the White House. It's probably an area many of you have been to. I've been right in this area. For this guy to round the corner, gun up, and just start shooting at 2 uniformed National Guardsmen is horrific and disgusting. Next up in the lead, an update to all of the action that was going on yesterday in the city of St. Paul. ICE, immigration, federal officers arrested a man by the name of Victor Molina Rodriguez in a St. Paul neighborhood. The Department of Homeland Security describes him as a Honduran national who was removed from the United States before and is now accused of re-entering illegally. ICE saying his prior crimes are domestic abuse and disorderly conduct. The mayor of St. Paul said maybe 2 people were detained, but as with all things ICE, there never seems to be quite enough information. The questions being asked today are about the way the city of St. Paul police responded. Local police are in St. Paul and in Minneapolis. Not only do they not know about a federal raid in advance when it comes to immigration, because both cities have said, look, we are here to protect our citizens and arrest criminals. Immigration is not our purview. So the city didn't know, but protesters quickly showed up. Different accounts. Some accounts say that protesters escalated, broke down a police perimeter, and at least in some cases were picking up bricks and rocks. And so St. Paul police at some point deployed pepper spray, pepper sort of less lethal kind of munitions. Lots of questions today. We asked St. Paul City Council member Molly Coleman for some of her reaction about this.
So I take very, very seriously the statement that the Society of Professional Journalists put out today. The fact that they have alleged that police officers targeted journalists specifically is something that should alarm every single person who cares about the Constitution, every single person who cares about living in a free and democratic society, and should be investigated with thoroughness, speed, and accuracy. I think to your point about that this is not how we conceptualize the St. Paul Police Department, I think you're absolutely right. And part of what I think has caused so much distress in the community, so much of what I have heard from residents of the city of St. Paul is that people have incredibly high standards for our police department, and that most of the time the police department meets those standards, and that we feel good about living in a city in which the police have worked hard to build relationships with the community, to invest in true public safety. And we know that having a strong relationship between the community and our police department is essential to ensuring public safety. And yesterday, people are feeling that that trust was broken. and that we can no longer say that we have a police department who lives up to the high standards that we rightfully set for it. And so this is why every single person, every leader in the city has to take this seriously. This is about basic public safety. And unfortunately, with this administration in DC, we know that this is not the last time we're going to see ICE in our city. We know that this is not the last time that we are going to see residents out protesting the actions of the federal government. So we can't wait 6 months or a year for an after action review to tell us what happened yesterday and what maybe should or shouldn't happen in the future. We need to move quickly because this is a live situation, and we have to ensure that our police meet the standards that our community holds for them.
Is there a responsibility when you have protesters who are on the scene of an action, right? It's one thing to be protesting in the street or protesting outside City Hall or protesting wherever you want to protest. But when you are protesting as a federal raid is going on, doesn't that to a certain degree invite escalation?
So we have a right to protest in this country. Folks were there engaged in lawful First Amendment protected protests, were engaged in lawful constitutional observing. That is entirely legal. And we also know that it is essential that folks who are protesting, who go to these federal actions, these federal raids, have an obligation to remain peaceful.
Yeah, it's
We
hard because
also
it takes
know that
one
the
person to pick up a brick, right? You can have 100 people who are being awesome, and one person picks up a brick, and now you have a situation.
And that's why we have a use of force policy. And that's why we have a police department that we hold to the highest of standards. Because when there are people, if there are people who are engaging in escalatory behavior, and again, we know with certainty that the vast majority of folks who were there yesterday were not engaged in that escalatory behavior.
Right.
But if there are one or two people who are, then the police have policies that need to be followed.
And the mayor and the police chief both saying that they are on the case and are doing a full investigation. There's a lot of video as to what went on out there. So I feel confident that we're going to get good answers as to what happened because the video is everywhere. And certainly some of the pictures that I have seen, especially on NPR's Instagram page, they were showing pictures of St. Paul officers really pointing pepper spray right at the photographer. So, was that photographer clearly marked? As sometimes it's hard to tell out in the scene, is this media or is this a citizen? Either way, someone pointing a camera at a police officer should not be enough for them to deploy a chemical irritant. So we'll see, and we'll keep demanding answers for sure. If you want to hear my thoughts on protesters and our full conversation with Molly Coleman, you can find the podcast, Drive Time with DeRusha. That is available on Apple, on Spotify, and on Odyssey. One more topic that I want to bring up, because I have a feeling if you are the kind of family that talks about politics, this is the story that has been blowing up, especially in right-wing media over the last couple of days. Are Minnesota fraudsters funneling money, sending money to terrorists in Somalia? Yeah, the Star Tribune talked with former U.S. Attorney Andy Luger, who said, my office prosecuted 70 different fraudsters. And he said, especially in the Feeding Our Future fraud case, and that's the case that right-wing media has made a lot of. There's one report. This is the thing that drives me nuts. One report in a publication called City Journal, which is a conservative magazine run by the Manhattan Institute, claimed the largest funder of al-Shabaab is the Minnesota taxpayer. And so is this true or not? Because the reality is we know that many of the people charged with fraud in Minnesota have been part of the Somali Minnesota community. Now, what Andy Luger said is that these people wanted to get rich. They didn't want to fund terrorism. And Minnesota has investigated this. In 2018, Fox 9 did a report also citing the same retired Seattle police detective that City Journal cited with this claim. And the state looked into it and couldn't confirm it. Now, it's not saying that it's not true, but two different state agencies have been looking into this claim that's been around since 2018 and could not find evidence that it's true. Certainly, if these fraudsters, in the Feeding Our Future fraudsters, Andy Luger told the Minnesota Star Tribune that if they had any evidence that this fraud was going to fund terrorism, that there would be massive charges for terrorism financing added to the laundry list of charges that these folks already face. So we have seen a number of legislators, U.S. Representative Tom Emmer, the state's other three representatives in Congress have asked the new U.S. Attorney, Daniel Rosen, to investigate whether stolen fraud money really was funneled. I would just say before Uncle Larry spouts off about how all this fraud is funding terrorism, Minnesota is funding terrorism, so far anyway, there's no evidence. We'll revisit if there is evidence.
Yeah.
But so far, no evidence, and they've been looking into that for quite a while. In just a minute, the DeRush Hour News headlines goes in depth. This has got to be my favorite story of the week. A Northern Minnesota Hockey League needs a sponsor, needs some money to help buy an ice resurfacer, a Zamboni. So they asked Pearl Jam for help. And Pearl Jam said what? We'll talk about that in just a bit.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
This Thanksgiving, put the arms out. This is a high-quality DeRusha recommendation. It's Jason DeRusha here for my friend Chris Lindahl. So a lot of people worry after the Thanksgiving meal, right? You're like, oh, I'm a little bloated. I'm full. And we had a story yesterday that one doctor suggested taking a fart walk. And what you do is you leave the table, you take a walk, and you maybe, expel a little gas. I would recommend something a little less disgusting. Do the Lindahl. Put those arms out wide. Take that walk. And then think about if you might have a house. Maybe you inherited it. Maybe you've had something happen in your life that it has you wanting to get rid of a house and get rid of it quickly. And as your arms are outstretched, bring them in, go to your computer, and type in chrislindahl.com. Chris Lindahl will get you a guaranteed cash offer that has the key two words, guaranteed in cash. In as little as 2 days, Lindahl can get you to closing. That is crazy. 2 days. Nobody's backing out. Nobody's making you upgrade the kitchen or switch out the light fixtures or clean all the junk out of the basement. Chris Lindahl handles all of it. All of it. No stress. Quick money. A guarantee. What are you waiting for? Get to Chris Lindahl. Arms out. chrislindahl.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Get a jump on your holiday shopping at Runnings with their Black Friday sale and gift card bonus. Friday, November 28th in store from 6 to noon. Get a $10 bonus gift card for every $50 pre-tax you spend. Get amazing deals and savings on all departments during the Black Friday gift card bonus event at your local Running store, November 28th. Get all of your holiday shopping done in one stop at Runnings. Shop one of the 90 locations across the upper Midwest, the Northeast, and America's heartland. Go to Runnings.com for more.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
Well, at a certain point, you can't even entertain the stupidity.
We do that for 3 hours.
Yeah, it's exhausting, isn't it? I don't know how you do it.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
A little joy as we get you ready for our Enough segment in just about 5 minutes. So be thinking about what you're fed up with. This one's just going to make you smile. If you are a Pearl Jam fan, and even if you're not, you're going to be one after you hear this story. Two Harbors Youth Hockey Association needed a new ice resurfacing machine, and they found funding from Pearl Jam. It's not a Zamboni, it's a Pearl Jamboni. And the executive director of the Two Harbors Youth Hockey Association, Jesse Lundgren, joins us at the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. You've got to be pinching yourself that this actually happened, Jesse.
Yes, we were very excited and surprised that they'd be interested, and we're just overjoyed that they thought it'd be a good idea to help us out and sponsor our Zamboni that was purchased by Lake County. So we're very grateful.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be humble about this, but this was your idea. Can you take us back to the beginning? I know you're a hardcore Pearl Jam fan, but I'm a fan of a lot of bands. I don't know that I would have written a letter saying, can you sponsor our Zamboni? How did this idea start and how did you do it?
Well, just as you mentioned, big Pearl Jam fan, and with the wordplay of Pearl Jam and Zamboni, I thought it went quite well, and just trying to think of some ideas outside of the box, maybe to generate some interest in hockey and in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame band like Pearl Jam, and sent them a letter, and it landed in the hands of a nice woman who was able to she mentioned to me that she was a native Canadian and a big hockey fan. So that kind of got the ball rolling, and we went from there.
Lucky break there, right? Because when you send a letter like this, you kind of think like, I don't know, man, like there's probably not a chance. This is going to end up in the trash.
The two expectations I had were probably not hearing back and maybe something in 6 months or a year that's like, hey, that's pretty cool, but it's not really something we do, as they typically, I think, I don't want to speak for them, but right. I do know that they do a lot of work for causes that are, really important, like homelessness and EB, which is a skin disease and that sort of thing. So for them to be able to, have some fun and help out a small town community in the middle of nowhere, I thought was very cool.
Jesse Lundgren is the executive director of the Two Harbors Youth Hockey Association. Now, you didn't just send an email or send even a handwritten note. You had a little bit of flair to it, right?
Well, I tried to make it look sort of similar to like a concert poster, and just invited them to see if they would be interested in having the world's first Jamboni, and like you said, it was just a lucky break, landed in the hands of someone who's a big hockey fan, and her and I worked together, and fortunately for us as a community, as as a small town hockey rink, things worked out.
Now, people watching this on our live stream on YouTube or on Facebook can see the image of the Pearl Jam Jamboni. The art, I mean, this looks like a concert T-shirt. The Pearl Jam logo with 2 hockey sticks that sort of have like the top of the guitar on it. How did that come about?
Yes, we well, after myself and the representative from Pearl Jam started talking a little bit more about what would be on the Zamboni, I sent a few ideas as far as what might look nice, just based on what's out there on like NHL Zambonis or race resurfacers or whatever, and she liked some of the stuff that we sent over. Then she asked if it was okay, since many members of the band are artistic, not only in music but in art itself, and I said sure, please. And so the band created the art and approved it, and that's what's on the Zamboni now, is approved art by that was done by Pearl Jam.
It's crazy. I mean, the whole thing is crazy. It's so cool. I don't know if the youngsters who are playing hockey in 2 Harbors understand how cool this is, but as a card-carrying Gen X Pearl Jam fan, I mean, this is as cool as it gets.
Yeah, we're pretty stoked and really excited, and sure, maybe some of the younger people aren't quite certain who Pearl Jam is, but maybe this again makes them go back into the old iTunes library and check out some Pearl Jam and rediscover them or discover them as youngsters, and that would be cool too, because like you said, we're Gen X members and Pearl Jam fans and enjoy their music. So maybe this brings their music to a younger audience as well, possibly.
It's so good. It's so good. Jesse Lundgren, a salute to your creativity and ingenuity. And we're so glad that Pearl Jam is also helping to make sure that the young kids in 2 Harbors are able to spend their money on skates and equipment instead of having to fundraise to help defray the cost. We know ice resurfacers and Zambonis are not cheap. So very cool stuff. Jesse, have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Same to you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Pretty fun stuff and very cool by Pearl Jam, right? Let's break. Enough. When we come back, get us to Thanksgiving by releasing your grievances. What have you had enough of? I've got a doozy, something that happened to me earlier this week that I ain't going to rant about. What do you have? 651-461-9226. You've had enough of it. Get it off your chest before you bother your mom and dad with it when you go to visit family or your kid on Thanksgiving dinner time. Enough comes your way in just a minute on Drive Time.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Tech isn't the only industry interested in supercomputers. Pharmaceutical maker Eli Lilly is partnering with AI chipmaker NVIDIA to build an AI supercomputer that's designed to train models on millions of biological experiments with the hopes of speeding up the development of new drugs. Lilly says the supercomputer has the potential to cut years off of preclinical testing trials and giving Lilly an advantage over rivals. I'm Jason Brooks.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer: an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
Why should you listen to the Adam and Jordana show? We actually like each other, but we don't always agree.
She's from Jersey, loves it in Minnesota. I'm about as Minnesota as you can get. If she says something that I think is ridiculous, I'll tell her. And if I say something that is ridiculous, which I do quite often, she usually tells me.
We ask real questions that affect you and try to get real answers.
But above all that, it's to make you laugh. It's to make your day a little less difficult.
You already listen. We're just here to remind you why. News Talk 830 WCCO.
This holiday season, when you get them STIHL, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit STIHLUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from STIHL. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Just a quick question. Does it encrypt your online traffic the same as NordVPN?
No, but it protects your device. Just pop that CD in and you're good to go.
But it will stop your internet service provider and other snoopers from monitoring you online, right?
Oh, no, not really. It won't stop online snoopers or block annoying ads. In fact, forget what I said at the beginning of this ad. This ad is now about NordVPN. I just realized that an antivirus is only half protection online. So get better online protection with the NordVPN Black Friday deal. It will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. This Black Friday, get NordVPN with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months. Yeah!
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Shop in-store or online. Look out for a crash on 494 eastbound between Nicollet Avenue and Portland Avenue. Get crowd-pleasing appetizers at Whole Foods Market. Prime members save 20% on select raw and cooked shrimp through November 27th. Serve chilled shrimp cocktail or crispy tempura at your holiday party. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply. I'm Tina Marie on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason DeRusha here. The Canopy Group represents 16 different insurance companies, not just one. They give you options. Each year, they'll review your program so you don't have to, making sure you get the best coverage at the best price. Do like I did. Go to thecanopygroup.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by the Canopy Group. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
It's going to be mostly cloudy the next couple of days. At least we'll be dry and the roads will be in good shape. Falling back to 20 tonight, still breezy. You'll notice that wind tomorrow for Thanksgiving. Mostly cloudy on Friday with a high of 28. Next best chance of snow, well, that would be on Saturday. This one targeting the southern third of the state.
Right now, it is windy. It feels like it's 13. It is 26 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always, and I mean always, on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore! I have had enough! Enough is enough! Enough!
All right, this is your time. Get it off your chest. Maybe it's related to family expectations around Thanksgiving. Maybe it's the craziness this night before. Maybe it's serious. Maybe it's silly. Let's hear it. What have you had enough of it? 651-461-9226. Josh, I asked you to come up with one as well. I had a doozy this week. So I have to go see my family doctor. I am having a minor back procedure next month. But before you have a procedure, you have to get a pre-op.
Yep.
So I don't know anything about this because I've never had a procedure before.
Okay.
So I had it on my calendar to get a pre-op appointment set up. And so I called the back guy who's doing the back thing. And they're like, no, you have to call your regular doctor. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm asking for. They'll understand. Like, okay. So I call my primary doctor, which, by the way, congrats to me for having one. I know a lot of you guys out there do not have a primary care physician. So when I call, I get the computer voice that sounds very friendly and normal. You know, these sort of computer prompt phone tree things sound real good now. So I just thought, fine, I'm going to say, like, you know, make an appointment, whatever. You say a couple things, it'd be no big deal. No, this dang computer-generated AI slop voice booked the whole appointment. What would have taken a human being less than a minute to make an appointment, it took me about 8 minutes on the phone.
Yeah.
What's your date of birth? 1/24/1975. So your birth date is December 4th, 1975. No! And now I'm yelling at a computer. Enough! Give me a person. Just, you're my doctor. I'm freaking out. I do not want to do the phone tree. How much money did you save? Right? Like, it had to cost a lot of this voice was decent. The little computer thing was decent.
That's cute.
But then they're like, you would like to visit with Dr. Jaworski. I'm like, yeah, no crap. Yes.
It's a hell of a name, by the way.
Do you have, she's amazing. So they're like, do you have, you know, a location presence? And at this point, preference. At this point, I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure she's only got one location. I don't know. So I said, no preference. And then they gave a date. And I said, well, no. And then they're like, would you like to know other available appointments? I'm like, it just took forever. And here's what really got me. At the end of this interaction, this damn computer had the gall to ask me if I would like to rate the performance of the call on a scale of 1 to 5. And at this point, I was so annoyed by the whole thing. I yelled, no! And it said it didn't understand that answer because it was programmed to accept a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Yeah.
And so then I started yelling at it, which maybe indicates more about me than the computer.
Could be.
I did not rate the call because why should I rate your dang call for free? You want me to hire me as a consultant, I'd be happy to. Also, like, I'm going to rate your call in a segment on Drive Time with DeRusha. I'm going to get some material out of this. I'm not wasting my good material on the AI voice. So enough. I will allow the AI voice to route my call to a human, right? Okay. But like to do the whole appointment, I thought was preposterous. Enough. 651-461-9226. You can weigh in as well. Jeff is on the line. Jeff, I just about lost it. I did lose it, and I lost it to no one. I'm just yelling at a computerized phone tree.
I've done that. I've done that.
It's not a proud
anywhere.
No, it sure doesn't. It gets you nowhere, and it's not a very proud moment. But I was fed up. What have you had enough of?
I have had enough of naming snowplows.
Yes,
it is stupid beyond measure.
You got that right.
These people come up with these dumb puns.
Yeah.
And convolution of celebrity names. Taylor Drift.
Stupid.
Jason DeSlusha.
Even that's stupid.
What's next? Josh's Galoshes?
I mean, so you didn't like...
If you want to put a dumb name on something, buy a boat and park it on Lake Minnetonka.
That's exactly.
Embarrass yourself and leave the rest of us out of it.
Now, some of the names that didn't make the cut last year and then could be back in the mix again, because I'm sure they're going to do this stupid thing again, right? Some of the names that did not make the cut. Chili Eilish, 867530 Brian.
Right.
Aaron Burr, sir. No, these are terrible. These are terrible.
Yeah. And I know what's behind it. There's a group of people in the Office of Traffic Safety who put up the cutesy little rhymes and stuff on their on the.
I hate those. I hate those too.
They're the ones that are behind this, and I tell you what, they should just all be fired.
Yeah, I agree. Get rid of them all. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving. 651-461-9226. Texters. I've had enough of shrinkflation. When you boast same low price, you never mention the fact there's now 20% less product. You think we're a bunch of dopes, don't you? We are not a bunch of dopes. The shrinkflation is real.
Yeah.
I do not approve. All right. You're up. Josh, what do you got? What have you had enough of?
Well, we've kind of alluded to it today. I've had enough of the fear mongering that is the snow winter storm warning all across the cable channels and not the radio channels. Chris Schaefer was pretty spot on with how he, perceived this to be. But guys like me who don't enjoy winter driving and had to go to Rogers Target last night.
Oh, yeah.
And right around 4:00. And by the time I was off, it was like, where's the snow?
Yeah.
What is this? This is rain. Got home about 9:45, 9:50. It's like, where's the snow? Where's the 3 to 6 inches that a lot of people were forecasting that we were supposed to get? And it was pretty much nowhere. I mean, it was snowing, but it was melting upon impact.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need to stop boosting these winter storm warnings. Woo! I love Harrigan's Open yesterday. It was fantastic.
Where are you on next weather alert, weather impact alert, weather first alert?
My weather comes from the weather app on my Apple iPhone.
Well, that's not that great.
It's not, but I trust it as much as any news worthy forecast.
Fighting words.
Yes.
I don't ever trust a news person when it comes to weather.
Meteor.
But I do trust the weather people. I think some of the problem is us, that we receive a snow total forecast like Monday.
Yeah.
And then we lock it in our memory and we don't pay any more attention. And then on Wednesday, you're like, well, they said it could be 5 inches. You're like, well, yeah, but all day yesterday we said 1 to 3 inches in the metro. Now, Rogers, you were probably in that 2 to 4, 2 to 5 zone.
You get to Monticello.
What'd you get? What'd you end up with?
Like 1.5 inches,
No,
maybe.
I bet you got more than that. But because it was wet and slushy, it all like mashed down.
The CCO TV weather machine, the weather vehicle was in Monticello, and that actually looked pretty good. Like they were getting pounded.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I've had enough of those things. They're goofy.
Since mine was kind of brief, I have a second quick enough.
Okay. Why don't we do it after the break?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Josh, with 2 enoughs, why not? Yours welcome as well. Lots of text coming in. 651-461-9226. Some very good ones when we come back.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
So last night, we've got our youngest back in town from USC, in town from LA. And you have that moment. It's like, all right, we're going to have a family dinner with Sam for the first time in forever. And so the question is, what are we going to have for dinner? Because we don't want it to take forever. And the answer is Minnesota pork. It's Jason here for the Minnesota Pork Board. We went to our local grocery shop. We had ourselves a beautiful pork tenderloin. So easy and quick, 25 minutes in the oven at 400. We seasoned it up with some olive oil and just like some Mediterranean herbs and salt and pepper. You could load it up with a barbecue rub, whatever you got on hand, and then just throw it in. Roasted some broccoli with it. It was a delicious meal. And it was a way of saying thank you to our 3,000 family pig farmers in every corner of this state. Now, we know that tomorrow is Turkey's Day. But Friday, you're right back at it. Get some ribs, baby. That's what the family really wants. Pulled pork sandwiches. That's what they want for dinner. Get yourself to Taste What Pork Can Do or mnpork.com, both websites with tons of recipe inspiration. Get to the grocery store, the butcher shop, and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner this weekend. Oh, yeah.
Imagine placing an investment or trade without fear. Knowing that big institutions have taken the same trade as you, pushing the price higher, which only they can do. You get to ride the wave of institutional demand. If not, your plan will protect you from the downside. This is how our students are taught to invest in trade. Right now, you can sign up for a free investing class where we'll outline our strategy for following the smart money. Text investing to 210-210. We'll also review strategies for growing a retirement portfolio, how professionals profit when stocks are falling, and how to protect your investments against inflation. With a 25-year history, local classrooms, and one-on-one support, you're not alone. And now it's your turn. Sign up for a free investing class today. Text investing to 210-210 or go to learnwithota.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer: an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
Hey, what's up, flies? This is David Spade. Dana Carvey. Look, I know we never actually left, but I'll just say it. We are back with another season of Fly on the Wall. Every episode, including ones with guests, will now be on video. Every Thursday, you'll hear us and see us chatting with big-name celebrities. And every Monday, you're stuck with just me and Dana. We react to news, what's trending, viral clips. Follow and listen to Fly on the Wall everywhere you get your podcasts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
We've got a handful of crashes, one on 494 eastbound between Nicollet Avenue and Portland Avenue. Watch out for an accident on 100 in both directions between Cedar Lake Road and 394. And we've got a crash on 169 southbound between 77th Avenue North and 94. I'm Tina Marie on News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Gutman Law, wills, trust, and probate law at gutmanlaw.com, bringing you the forecast. Tonight, the breeze continues about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Low will be 20. It'll feel closer to 0. Tomorrow, high of 27. That breeze is going to make it gross again. And then Friday, same deal. Watching for another round of snow on Saturday. Right now in St. Paul, it's 27 on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
You are hitting on all cylinders today.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, great text with people's enough. Jason, I've had enough of people who leave their car while getting gas. Oh, that's a good one. They go inside to get a drink, use the bathroom, find a snack, return while people are waiting to use the pump. It's a busy time. Park your car away from the pump and get your business done on your own time, not mine.
Agreed.
Enough. That's very good. People who are rude to retail workers.
Mm-hmm.
It's not our fault that you didn't get your stuff in a timely manner. How about I come to your workplace and behave like a 2-year-old like some of you do? Enough. Josh?
I agree.
You can relate. All right, you have one more enough.
Yeah, and this kind of ties to a recent arena you went to.
Mm.
I've had enough with kiosks that are self-serve where you grab the food and drink and then still ask you for the tip.
Oh, no way.
Yes. If I'm grabbing a hot dog and a Pepsi bottle and helping myself, I'm not tipping anybody but myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
Yep.
It's just the computer is programmed,
Yep,
right? Like
yep.
they don't really mean for you to tip.
Correct.
Oof. That is annoying. That is very annoying. Enough with every interaction in my life resulting in a demand for me to take a survey.
Mm.
Now, let me tell you something that happened to me this weekend. I went to a coffee shop and I ordered a light roast drip coffee. And the person working there tipped the coffee pot like they were trying to get the last couple drips.
Okay.
Clearly didn't fill up the cup. And then went to the other coffee pot that was holding the dark roast and just filled it up. All of this within eyesight of me. It was the first time in my life that I wish that I was given a survey. And that time I wasn't. Usually at this particular coffee shop, and people will know what I'm talking about, usually I get a survey before I've even left, before I even got my drink.
Yeah.
You get the survey in your email if you use the app or if you use the card or whatever.
Yeah.
But the person, when they were doing this, saw that I noticed. And instead of saying, we ran out of light roast, you want to wait another 10 minutes for us to brew some more light roast? Or would you like dark roast instead? Or would you like me to mix them together? In no universe would I want to mix them together.
Yeah. No.
Makes no sense. I guess I have medium roast, but I suppose
Whatever works.
it was not what I wanted. Still handed it to me. Looks so sheepish. They knew they were busted. Have a great Thanksgiving. So grateful to all of you who listen. We'll talk to you next week.
Sometimes the best thing we can do at WCCO is shut up and let our listeners do the talking.
You guys at CCO, I